In this video, I will demonstrate how to perform a map check and write a legal description. Let's start with map check. Under the Survey pull-down menu, there is map check, and you have two choices: map check by points and by screen entities. The points allows you to put in a range of point numbers, but by screen entities, which is going to be the selection that I use here, allows you to just select lines, bearings and distances, and arc information right from your screen. So I select by screen entities, and the program first prompts for units and precision, the report. I'm going to accept these settings as is and hit OK. The program prompts to select the line work to process. I select the boundary line, and then it prompts me to select a sample text. I can select any text now here, because what it is identifying actually is the layer that the text is on. In my case, all the bearings, distances, and curve information are all on the same layer. So if you had other layers, such as the bearing, distance on separate layers, or the curve information on yet another layer, you would need to select sample text for those layers as well. Since they're all on one layer, I need only select one piece of text, and then I hit enter. Then it asks me to select entities to process, and I'll just go ahead and window everything in. The program will ignore the monument descriptions, the monuments itself, and the little crow's feet. I hit enter, and a dialog box appears with options to control the parameters for the map check program. You can set the distance units along with the default suffix for each type of distance. Same with arcs. My display for my arcs is A equals radius, delta, chord, chord bearing, so those correspond with the way they're labeled in the drawing. I hit OK, and once all my settings are the way I like them, I can just simply hit OK. And the deed report is displayed. The report contains all of the line and arc information, as well as the linear error and total lot closure. You can then save or print the report. When you exit, you are prompted to save the deed file, which you can set and have an option to create a new deed file or append an existing file. Next, let's take a look at writing a legal description. In preparing for writing a legal description, I have my boundary line, bearings and distances displayed, and I have thawed the point blocks, which is on my layer, points monuments. The necessity for having those points thawed at this time will become apparent as we go through the steps for writing the legal description. So under the Survey menu, there is a program, Legal Description Writer. And I pause just for a moment to remind everyone that the menus are often redundant. They exist in the pull-down menus as well as the ribbons. So you can see under the Survey ribbon, there's the Legal Description Writer, same program. When I execute the program, I'm going to begin by taking a look at the settings. All the options for writing the legal description, as far as the language goes and the appearance of the legal description, are all controlled under these settings. For example, we take a look at the angle settings. You can label your bearings and distances with an NSEW, or use north, south, east, and west. If you have other calls, you can use the terms northerly, southerly, easterly, westerly, etc. You could also control the display as far as a degrees in the form of symbols or spell out the word, minutes, seconds, and the precision all the way down to 100th of a second. For the distance, you have a beginning call, a distance of, this can all be changed, and a suffix for feet. You can spell them out or use the symbol. Again, precision can be controlled. You also have an option for alternate units or secondary units. That can be used in cases where more than one unit is required for a legal description. The point description brings me to the point of having the point blocks thawed on the screen. By using the option point block, it will only search through the points that are visible on the screen as opposed to the CRD file. In this data set, I have calculated points that are exactly on the corners of each deed call, but the monuments themselves are only within a plus or minus tolerance of each corner. For example, if we set the tolerance to be the nearest tenth of a foot, it will only call to points that fall within that tolerance. Align, the typical thence before starting a line and ending with a semicolon. Curves have an extensive amount of language that can be controlled. Thence along a curve, turning to the right, to the left, with an arc length of, radius, all the types of curve information that you may or may not want to put in your legal descriptions can be put in sequence. A 0 means it will not be included in the legal description. And an area, you can have the option of several units to include in the legal description. I have square feet and acres. Then there's a general setting that starts your legal description beginning at and ending with back to the point of the beginning. You can also control the case, the legal description text. So now pick a boundary line and select the boundary polyline. And my output option is going to be for a report viewer for now. And I just hit OK. And here is my legal description, or a good start of it. This file can be saved as a text file and then brought into a Word document to complete the legal description. You can also output directly to the screen to add the legal description directly to the plat.